David Livingston Smith lives in Portland, Maine. He researches how biology and evolution affect human nature, and he's an expert on our lying ways.
In biological terminology, you've got a deceiver and you've got a sucker. And that is actually biological terminology. Suckers don't do well, right? So those of us who are especially skilled at manipulating others obviously do it. Look at politicians, for Christ's sake. Politicians are professionals at this. They're the past masters, like stage magicians of our fantasies. Just look around. Look at the most successful people. They are skilled at impression management, of getting you to think certain ways about them. And that's deception. That's lying.
President Bush speaks a lot to us, and we're just an example.
Hancock has been working with Jamie Pennebaker, a researcher at the University of Texas.
We owe it to our children's children, to free the world from weapons of mass destruction in the hands of those who hate freedom.
They've scanned U.S. President George W. Bush's words spoken in the months before and after the Iraq War.
About 3 months before the war, you see this really significant drop. And this is a very large drop in the words I, me, or my. So
there was a dramatic decline in those truthful pronouns until the Iraq War actually begins. Then the president's speech returns to normal.
We, of course, won't know until things are declassified whether this is when some internal decision was made to go to war.
One thing is certain. Don't expect political leaders to set a good example.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Miss Lewinsky. I never told anybody to lie, not a single time, never. These allegations are false, and I need to go back to work for the American people. Thank you.
The truth about liars will return.
Read my lips. No new taxes.
When it comes to getting elected,
we both made promises in this campaign. I promise you I will keep mine.
Politicians have their own very special relationship with the truth.
I will end this war.
As President of the United States, I will always tell you the truth.
They make a lot of promises, like this one about replacing the GST.
You will never see the same GST ever if we fund the government. I say we'll replace the tax. This is a commitment. You will judge me by that.
It's keeping those promises that's the problem.
It was a mistake in thinking that we could bring in a completely different tax.
Will he now finally admit that his government has broken its election promise to abolish, scrap, and kill the GST?
It was a bold-faced lie! The secret of politics is this. Tell people the lies that are consistent with their own self-deceptions. If you can do that, you're a successful politician. So we're not really that concerned about politicians lying to us. If we were, we would be horrified at every bit of political campaigning because it's mostly all bullshit.
So who do we trust? According to a recent Ipsos Reid poll, Canadians think firefighters are the most trustworthy, followed by nurses. In the middle of the pack, judges, chiropractors, and plumbers. Tied for last place, car salespeople, and, you guessed it, our national politicians.
People have got to know whether or not their president's a crook. Well, I'm not a crook.
The experts say our faith, our trust that leaders are telling the truth has been eroding for years. For America, the turning point came with revelations about deception and cover-up at the very top.
If mistakes are made, however, I'm not blaming the people down below. The man at the top's got to take the heat for all of them.
That was a real watershed moment in our sense of respect for authority, our belief in government, our belief in our national institutions. Now, I think what made the Clinton scandal especially searing was what he lied about. This was something else entirely.
And then, often, life seems to go on pretty much as it did before. Our heroes reduced and returned to us. Our respect replaced by cynicism and satire.
Here, I've taken all the newspaper clippings about me and used them for a lovely decoupage. Words like fraud, legal woes, and the downfall of an empire, along with unflattering pictures of me entering the courtroom, really turns this formerly drab lampshade into an eye-catching conversation piece.
So they have a really delicate balance to walk between keeping us relatively fearful, but not so fearful that we stop what we're doing and really examine how it is that they've been waging.
There are a lot of people who lie and get away with it. And that we will in fact find weapons or evidence of weapons programs that are conclusive.
I don't think we'll discover anything myself.
It appears that there were not weapons of mass destruction there.
You said you knew where they were.
I did not. We know where they are. They're in the area around Tikrit and Baghdad and east, west, south, and north. Well, first of all, I haven't lied.
There are a lot of people who lie and get away with it.
Talking about lies and your allegation that there was bulletproof evidence of ties between Al-Qaeda and Iraq. Was that a lie?
Intelligence gathered by this and other governments leaves no doubt that the Iraqi regime continues to possess and conceal some of the most lethal weapons ever devised.
Our people are going to find out the truth, and the truth will say that this intelligence is good intelligence, no doubt in my mind.
I don't know anybody that I can think of who has contended that the Iraqis had nuclear weapons.
And we believe he has, in fact, reconstituted nuclear weapons.
Saddam Hussein is determined to get his hands on a nuclear bomb.
We cannot wait for the final proof. He's got him. He's got him. The smoking gun. He's got him. That could come in the form of a mushroom cloud.
Colin Powell didn't lie.
My colleagues, every statement I make today is backed up by sources, solid sources. These are not assertions. What we're giving you are facts and conclusions based on solid intelligence.
He has not developed any significant capability with respect to weapons of mass destruction. He is unable to project conventional power against his neighbors.
Our people are going to find out the truth.
I have not suggested there's a connection between Iraq and the 9/11.
You have said in the past that it was, quote, pretty well confirmed.
No, I never said that.
Okay.
I never
think
said
that is...
That's absolutely not. What I said was, it's been pretty well confirmed that he did go to Prague and he did meet with a senior official of the Iraqi intelligence service.
Saddam Hussein aids and protects terrorists, including members of Al-Qaeda. Secretly and without fingerprints, he could provide one of his hidden weapons to terrorists or help them develop their own. What did Iraq have to do with what?
The attack on the World Trade Center.
Nothing.
He said there were three main reasons for going to war in Iraq. Weapons of mass destruction.
Saddam Hussein has gone to elaborate lengths, spent enormous sums, taken great risks to build and keep weapons of mass destruction.
The claim that Iraq was sponsoring terrorists who would have attacked us on 9/11.
Before September the 11th, many in the world believed that Saddam Hussein could be contained.
And that Iraq had purchased nuclear materials from Niger.
The regime is seeking a nuclear bomb.
All three of those turned out to be false.
First, just if I might correct a misperception, I don't think we ever said, at least I know I didn't say, that there was a direct connection between September the 11th and Saddam Hussein.
Who does the president think he's effing kidding?
Of course, it was information that was mistaken.
There are a lot of people who lie and get away with it.
Those weapons of mass destruction got to be somewhere. Nope, no weapons over there. Maybe under here.
when you have a precedent set like that, and you have somebody, George Tenet, acknowledging in his book that he knew that the administration was deceiving the American people into a situation that is murdering young men and women from this country and others, that George Tenet and Dick Cheney and Condoleezza Rice and George Bush et al. Should be in fucking jail.
But I'm not going to take this anymore.
You're going to figure out what to do with all of the debris.
How about you? You made money off the golf floor, and now you're going to vote for your fascist son. Old lies, more lies, still lies. Stop the lies. Stop the lies.
It is important.
Free and beautiful, to make this life a wonderful adventure. Then in the name of democracy, let us use that power. Let us all unite.